Hi, I'm Derek, 29, and last Thursday, my girlfriend handed me a laminated list titled, Things You Need to Change to Marry Me. I read it, smiled, then slid her a single item I'd typed on my phone. Find a new girlfriend. Bethany and I had been together for a year and a half, living together for 6 months, and I thought things were good. We had our little routines. She'd make these kale smoothies that tasted like lawnmower runoff, and I'd pretend to like them. I'd game with my friends on weekends, and she'd lecture me about networking opportunities I was wasting. You know, the usual give and take. Then came the Thursday dinner. She picked this upscale Italian spot, cloth napkins, $18 cocktails, the kind of place where the menu doesn't have prices, just market rate. I thought she had good news. A promotion maybe, or that she finally figured out the settings on our Nest thermostat. It had been roasting us at 80 degrees every night for weeks. Instead, she showed up with a manila folder. No. Hi, babe. No kiss. Just sat down and said, Before we take the next step, we need to talk. My stomach dropped. Inside the folder was a laminated checklist. Titled, Requirements for Marriage, Areas Where Derek Needs Improvement. Laminated. She'd gone to FedEx office to preserve this thing like it was the Constitution. I skimmed the list. Income, must increase by 40% in 12 months. Fitness, lose 15 pounds, join CrossFit, develop visible abs. Car, trade in my Honda Civic for a luxury car. Wardrobe, full overhaul. Attached was a Pinterest board. Friends, cut off Corey, Miguel, and Josh. Low-value men. Hobbies, limit gaming to 2 hours per week. Begin golf lessons. Family, reduce visits to my mom to holidays only. Career, apply for MBA programs she'd already researched. Housing, buy a house in a specific zip code within 2 years. Social media, delete all pics with exes. Update status with her name. She sipped her wine, waiting. These are my non-negotiables, she said like a Bond villain revealing her plan. I've thought this through, Derek. This is what I need. I looked her dead in the eye. Smiled. This is really helpful, I said. She beamed. Then I pulled out my phone, typed, Find a new girlfriend. Showed her the screen, placed $20 on the table, and walked out. I didn't look back. The moment I stepped out of that restaurant, I felt 20 pounds lighter, and not the kind she wanted me to lose in CrossFit. My phone started vibrating before I even reached my car. 10 missed calls. 3 voicemails. All from Bethany. I didn't listen to a single one. Just drove straight home, walked into our apartment, and started packing her stuff into boxes like I was moving out a roommate I never chose. To be fair, she didn't actually move in so much as quietly never left. 1 drawer turned into 3. A toothbrush became a shelf of skincare potions I wasn't allowed to touch. She used my grandmother's vintage china like it was her birthright. And don't get me started on the time she rearranged my books by color because vibes matter. I packed it all. Even the herbal teas that made the kitchen smell like a witch's pantry. Then I texted our landlord and explained the situation. He was chill. Happens more than you'd think, he said. Changed the locks that same evening. I labeled the boxes with her name, set them in the building's mailroom with a sticky note, pick up by Sunday. Door code changed. Then I sat on my couch, cracked open a beer, turned on Elden Ring, and absolutely obliterated a boss I'd been stuck on for a week. Felt symbolic. Friday morning, I showed up to work feeling like a man who dodged a BMW-shaped bullet. Until I got a Slack message from our receptionist. Hey Derek, there's a woman here asking for you. Says it's important? I opened the security cam feed. Bethany. In the lobby. Holding a laptop. She'd brought a PowerPoint. I kid you not, she had a presentation titled, Derek's Growth Plan, From Average to Amazing. Security wouldn't let her in, thank God, but I watched on the cam as she tried to show my coworkers slides. One of the interns said she was walking around asking people to help Derek see his full potential. My manager Carl messaged me. Is this a prank or are you dating the Joker? That afternoon, I got another surprise. My mom called. Honey, she said, sounding confused. Bethany's here. I almost dropped my phone. She brought a therapist. I blinked. A therapist? What, like for you? No, sweetheart. For you. Bethany had driven 2 hours to my mom's house with a couples therapist for what she called an emergency intervention. The therapist, poor guy, Dr. Whitman, apparently thought I was in crisis. My mom let them in because, well, she's nice. But halfway through Bethany's speech about my resistance to transformation, my mom asked, "Did Derek agree to any of this?" Bethany smiled and said, "He will once he realizes what he's throwing away." Dr. Whitman packed up and left right then. Said something about boundaries. My mom asked Bethany to leave too, but not before Bethany pointed at her and said, "You're the reason he's like this. You never pushed him to be exceptional." My mom, a single mother, a nurse, who worked overtime to raise me. Yeah, Bethany crossed the line. And the weekend hadn't even started yet. Saturday morning, I woke up to an email with the subject line, "Business Proposal." It was from Richard, Bethany's dad. A man I'd spoken to maybe 5 times total. In the body of the email was a full job offer, complete with salary, title, and benefits, to join his construction company as a junior project manager. Salary? 42% higher than what I currently made. Why 42%? Because Bethany's marriage list demanded a 40% increase. They gave me 2 extra percent like it was a damn signing bonus. The email ended with, "This resolves the income issue. The other improvements are reasonable and achievable with dedication. Looking forward to welcoming you into the family business." He'd CC'd Bethany. I stared at my screen for a full minute trying to process the fact that this man was actively negotiating my transformation behind my back like I was an underperforming startup. I didn't reply. I just forwarded it to Corey, Miguel, and Josh with the subject line, "Y'all, it's getting biblical." Then Sunday rolled around. Pickup day. I expected Bethany. Instead, a U-Haul pulled up and out hopped Tara, her best friend, plus 3 guys I'd never seen before. Bethany had apparently sent a list of what to take, but the list wasn't just her things. It included my 65-inch OLED TV, my PS5, my espresso machine, and I swear on my Civic, my grandmother's china set. Security flagged them immediately. Tara argued that Bethany had invested in improving the apartment and deserved compensation. One of the moving guys apologized to me and said, "Dude, she told us you were abusive and stealing her stuff, but this feels the opposite." I had to walk them through what was hers. Tara rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd fall out of her skull. I told her if she wanted the coffee machine, she could invoice me like Bethany did with my soul. Speaking of invoices, Monday morning I got a call from my mom. "Derek," she said, almost laughing, "why did I just get a PayPal invoice for $8,743? I felt the world tilt. Bethany had billed my mother. Itemized. 18 months of relationship coaching, $3,600. Personal styling services, $1,200. Meal planning and nutrition guidance, $900. Social circle optimization, $400. Interior design consultation, $1,500. Future planning and goal setting, $643. Payment due in 30 days. Failure to pay would result in legal action." My mother, bless her petty soul, replied with a voicemail. "Bethany, sweetie, if you contact me or my son again, I'll be invoicing you for the time I've wasted reading this nonsense." I charged $300 an hour. Minimum 4-hour blocks. But the final punch of the weekend? A LinkedIn notification. Bethany had updated her job title to Life Coach and Relationship Strategist, and published a blog titled, "When You Outgrow Your Partner, A Guide to Upward Dating." She didn't name me, but she didn't have to. The internet connected the dots within 2 hours. Screenshots of the laminated list went viral. Her article got flamed into digital ashes and deleted before lunch. And yet, the story wasn't done. Not even close. By Tuesday, I thought the worst was behind me. I was wrong. Oh, so very wrong. Wednesday morning, I got a call from my apartment complex office. Deb, the lady who runs the place, sounded like she just watched a telenovela. "Hi, Derek. So, we received a formal complaint from someone named Bethany claiming illegal eviction and theft of property." I nearly dropped my coffee. "She said she was a legal tenant, and you changed the locks without notice." I let out a low, exhausted laugh. Deb, she never paid rent. She wasn't even on the lease. Deb replied, "Oh, I know, honey. I pulled your file. But under duration of tenancy, she wrote 18 months, 6 months physical, 12 months spiritual. I swear to God, spiritual tenancy. That was a new one. I asked if I needed to do anything. Nah," Deb said. "I just wanted to hear your voice so I could believe this insanity was real." Thursday, I hit the gym. My regular gym. Not CrossFit. Sorry, Bethany. I was mid-set when I saw someone walking toward me out of the corner of my eye. It was Richard, Bethany's dad. Dressed in brand new workout gear with the tags still on. Holding a protein shake he clearly didn't know how to open. "Derek! What are the odds?" he said, with the world's most unconvincing grin. I stared at him. "You waited in the parking lot, didn't you?" Spoiler, he did. Security footage confirmed it later. The man sat in his Range Rover for 45 minutes watching the front door until I showed up. He cornered me near the water fountain. "Son, let's talk man to man." "Please don't call me son," I said. "She has high standards," he said. "We raised her to expect excellence. Maybe her delivery was off, but her intentions. Richard, she graded me like a quarterly performance review. She sees your potential. No, she sees a project. I'm not a fixer-upper. I'm a person." Then the man actually said this. "I'll buy you the BMW myself. Consider it an early wedding gift." I almost choked on my water. I don't want a BMW. I like my Civic. It's paid off. He turned red. "You're really going to throw away my daughter over pride?" "No. I'm throwing her away because she tried to delete my mother." He stormed out, fuming. Left his fancy gym bag behind. I gave it to the front desk. They use it to hold lost and found items now. Friday was quiet. Too quiet. I should have known. Saturday afternoon, I got a text from an unknown number. "Check your mailbox." Inside was a plain envelope. I opened it. It was a printed profile from a dating app. A fake one. Using my name. My photos. But a bio I never wrote. Successful professional seeking ambitious woman to build an empire. Recently out of a relationship with someone who couldn't match my drive. MBA candidate. CrossFit enthusiast. Future homeowner. No time for games or mediocre mindsets. She wasn't just impersonating me. She was dating people, as me. My coworker Paolo called me that evening, dying laughing. "Dude, my sister matched with you on Hinge, and you're being wild. You've been talking about synergy and retiring in Tuscany by 45. What? I'm literally playing Mario Kart in my boxers. But the craziest part? She'd been scheduling dates. With my actual address. That night the doorbell rang. It was Janet. She was dressed to the nines, holding a bottle of wine, looking absolutely bewildered. "You're Derek?" I sighed. "Yeah. And I think you've been catfished by my ex." Janet stood there stunned while I explained. Then, plot twist, she laughed. "Well, you still want to split this wine?" We ended up ordering Chinese and watching The Office. She left her number. "Call me when your ex is done being insane. You seem normal." I don't know if I'm normal. But I do know Bethany was just warming up. Sunday morning, I woke up to the sound of my phone buzzing nonstop. It was my mom. "Derek," she said, barely keeping it together. "Why did I just receive an invoice for $8,000? I rubbed my eyes. "An invoice from who?" "Bethany." She forwarded me the email. Subject line, "Final notice, compensation for services rendered." Attached, a professionally formatted PDF title. Relationship Consulting, Invoice for Time, Labor, and Development. I swear on my boxed collection of The Office DVDs, it had line items. Relationship Coaching, 18 months at $200 per month equals $3,600. Personal Styling Services equals $1,200. Meal Planning and Nutrition Guidance equals $900. Career Counseling and MBA Research equals $500. Social Circle Optimization equals $400. Interior Design Consultation equals $1,500. Future Planning and Goal Setting equals $643. Total due, $8,743. Payment due within 30 days or legal action may be pursued. My mom called her. Sweetheart. In the voicemail she left. That's how you knew she was livid. Sweetheart, I'm going to need you to never contact me or my son again. And if you do, I'll be billing you for the time I waste reading your nonsense. I charge $300 an hour. Minimum 4-hour blocks. God bless. I was speechless. But not for long. Because Bethany's sister, Megan, met me that afternoon. Not to defend her sister. No. To apologize. I'm so sorry. She wrote. I tried to warn her to stop doing this. You're not the first guy. Her last boyfriend? Same thing. Different list. Same delusions. He ended up filing for a restraining order. Megan attached screenshots, actual photos of another laminated partner improvement plan from 2 years ago. Only difference? That poor guy apparently did try to follow the list. It ended with him in therapy. She thinks she's a lifestyle curator. Megan wrote. It's like she believes men are Pinterest boards she can organize. I honestly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But we weren't done. Monday morning, I got a LinkedIn notification. Bethany had updated her profile again. Now she was a certified life coach and relationship consultant. She'd posted an article. When you outgrow your partner, a guide to upward dating. It didn't mention me by name, but every paragraph screamed me. She described a man-child with no ambition, who rejected constructive feedback, and clung to average like a comfort blanket. I shared it with my group chat. Miguel replied. So, we clinging to mediocrity tonight? Bring Doritos. But the internet? The internet ate her alive. Someone found the original Reddit post I'd made when this started. Then found her article. Connected the dots. Comment highlights included. Girl, you gave him a laminated list. CrossFit requirement has me spiritually unwell. You're not dating up, you're delusional. She deleted the article within 2 hours. Screenshots were already everywhere. And just when I thought we finally hit the peak of Mount Madness, Tuesday night happened. Bethany showed up. At my cousin's wedding. Uninvited. Wearing a white dress. Full makeup. Heels. Trying to catch the bouquet. No, really. My cousin Lucia saw her, froze mid-dance, and muttered, "Tell me that's not her." It was. Security tried to escort her out, but she clutched a wine glass and started crying. "This should have been our wedding," she sobbed. "He promised we'd be engaged by now." My Aunt Rose walked up, took one look, and said, "Honey, you need to leave. And take off that white dress. You look desperate." Bethany's final move? She grabbed the microphone during the reception and started giving a speech about how true love conquers all, and how she forgives me. The DJ cut her mic. My Uncle Tony and Cousin Marco literally carried her out. She screamed, "This isn't over, Derek!" Spoiler, it kinda was. The restraining order was granted 3 days later. The restraining order hearing was supposed to be routine. Just paperwork and a judge's signature. But Bethany doesn't do routine. My lawyer, my buddy's cousin, Pete, had prepped everything. We had screenshots, emails, the invoice to my mother, the LinkedIn article, the PowerPoint from my office, and security footage from the wedding. The courtroom smelled faintly of lemon disinfectant and unhinged dreams. Bethany arrived with a lawyer of her own. A very tired-looking woman who, I swear, had the aura of someone realizing too late what she'd signed up for. And then came the counterletter. Bethany's lawyer presented it with a straight face. A counter-demand. She was suing me for breach of implied contract to improve himself. Return of invested time and emotional labor. Defamation, me telling people what actually happened. Damages for loss of future lifestyle she reasonably expected, yes, including the BMW. Pete had to excuse himself from the courtroom to laugh in the hallway. When he came back, his face was red and his eyes were wet. "In 15 years, he whispered, "I've never seen anyone sue for an imaginary future BMW. The judge? A woman in her 60s who looked like she'd seen it all, until this." She read the documents slowly, then looked up at Bethany. "Ma'am, you sent his mother an invoice for being his girlfriend." Bethany lifted her chin. As compensation for my efforts. The judge's sigh could have powered a wind turbine. That's not how relationships work. Order granted. 500 feet. No contact. 2 years. Bethany tried to argue, said she was the real victim. The judge cut her off. You crashed his cousin's wedding in a white dress and gave a speech. Sit down. It was over. Or so I thought. Until the TikTok series. 3 days later, I got a message from Miguel. Bro. She's making animated videos. I opened TikTok. There it was, that upward dating queen. A cartoon version of me, tiny, sad, wearing cargo shorts and a Civic for a hat, getting coached by a sparkly, angelic Bethany figure. Voice filters. Sound effects. Titles like, When your man is stuck in mediocrity. Love isn't enough, you have to upgrade him. Dating down, my story. The voiceover said things like, I tried to love a man who wouldn't love himself enough to grow. So I created a path. A plan. A roadmap to greatness. And he walked away. By video 3, the comments were brutal. Girl, you laminated a checklist. He's not your boyfriend. He's your unpaid intern. This isn't a relationship. This is a renovation project. She deleted the account. But screenshots live forever. Meanwhile, my coworkers found her PowerPoint. Carl, my manager, made a joke presentation using the same template. Requirements for Derek to cover your shift. Slides included. Must provide 3 bags of Doritos. Must complement his KD ratio. Must sit through the office marathon, no complaints. I was dying laughing. But the best part? Janet, the woman from the fake Hinge date. She came to game night. She destroyed us at Mario Kart. Corey said. She's already cooler than Bethany ever was. She looked at me and said, Just promise me you'll never laminate anything. Only pizza menus. I told her. We high-fived. It might have been a little flirty. But I wasn't rushing anything. I was healing. In my Civic. Surrounded by friends. With a new hobby, boxing. Not because Bethany told me to. Just because it felt good to hit stuff that didn't talk back. The trainer asked why I joined. I told him the story. Now the gym calls me List Guy. They even framed her list and hung it on the wall. Big red X through it. It says, Don't be this person's project. Honestly? Best motivation I've ever had. So, life was finally calming down. No more fake dating profiles. No more invoices. No more surprise therapy ambushes. I was back to gaming with the boys, hitting the boxing gym, and embracing the average man's holy trinity: cheap coffee, soft hoodies, and uninterrupted peace. Even my mom started joking again. She framed the invoice Bethany sent her. Hung it right above her kitchen sink. Can you believe this girl tried to bill me for dating my son? She shows it to guests like it's family art. Janet and I kept hanging out too. It was casual, low pressure, easy. She loved my Civic. Called it efficient. When I offered to pick her up one night, she said, You got doors and wheels? Then it's luxury. But just when I thought Bethany had finally evaporated into the cloud of TikTok shame, she made her final move. It was Corey's birthday. We were having a backyard barbecue at Josh's place, burgers, beers, a playlist stuck on early 2000s bangers. Miguel brought a karaoke mic no one asked for. Spirits were high. Until Josh came back from the front gate and whispered, You're not gonna believe this. Bethany had sent a singing telegram. Yes. An actual human man in a tuxedo and white gloves walked into the yard, held up a Bluetooth speaker, and hit play. A soft, dramatic piano instrumental started. Then he began to sing, to the tune of A Whole New World. A whole new Derek. One who lifts and buys a Benz. He's MBA bound. And not surrounded by his friends. We all just stared. Beer halfway to lips. Burgers frozen mid-bite. Then the man pulled out a scroll. Ahem. A message from Miss Bethany Rose Lancaster. He cleared his throat. Dear Derek, I hope you'll find clarity in my absence. Growth is painful, but necessary. One day, you'll look back and understand why I pushed you toward excellence. I release you, with love. Josh whispered. Did she just Yoko Ono you in baritone? The singing man bowed, took a cupcake from the dessert table, and walked out. We stood in stunned silence for a full minute. Then Miguel raised his beer. To being released. With love. And we howled. That night, I got one final text. It was from an unknown number. The message said, "I forgive you." No name. No punctuation. Just those 3 words. I didn't reply. Instead, I screenshotted it and made it my lock screen. Every time I open my phone, I see, "I forgive you," and laugh like an idiot. It's healing. I'm still at the same job. Still driving the same Civic, with a new bumper sticker. Mediocre and proud. Miguel got it for me as a joke. I'm keeping it forever. Bethany wanted me to become someone else. Turns out, I like who I am just fine. It's been 6 months. No more texts. No more lists. Just peace. The Civic still runs like a champ. The boys and I game every Friday. Janet usually joins, and she absolutely wrecks us. My mom still shows guests the framed invoice like it's fine art. That singing telegram? Legendary. It became a running joke. Whenever someone complains about work, Corey goes, "Release it, with love." I never did join CrossFit. But I stuck with boxing. Not for abs, just for balance. Bethany? Last I heard, she started making self-improvement lists for herself. Growth, I guess. But I'm good. I'm done being someone's project. No laminated lists. No life plans with PowerPoints. Just Sunday dinners with my mom, game nights with friends, and a Civic that keeps going. Mediocre? Maybe. But man, it feels damn good.